flies use the neurotransmitter octopamine to decide whether food memories are stored long-term or short-term. About half of all U.S. adults experience loneliness. Body lice live and multiply in the seams of human clothing and bedding, or hopping onto their human hosts to feed on their blood several times a day. For 3 years, a Lone Star State deer breeder fought with officials over how to handle a growing outbreak in his herd. Taking blood pressure medication at a time that aligns with your personal chronotype, the way your body's circadian rhythm affects when you go to sleep and get up, could help to protect the heart against the risk of heart attack, a new study shows. Later in life, fathers have poorer heart health compared to non-fathers, according to findings from the first longitudinal, multi-ethnic U.S. study to look at fatherhood and cardiovascular health. What we learned this week about the bird flu outbreak, sleep and smartphones. As summer approaches, another series of new strains is on the horizon. When I first started, I literally knew nothing about fitness. I did what everybody else did, and I turned to social media for guidance, Jenna Rizzo revealed. These behaviors might not appear a big deal, but they could hurt your brain health in the long run. The rapidly aging faces of Gen Z can also blame e-cigarettes for their abnormally sallow skin. Feeling sad or anxious, on the other hand, wasn't associated with blood vessel dysfunction. GLP-1 drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy may affect your sense of taste and the way your brain responds to sweet foods. A healthy gut microbiome is essential for overall health, particularly in managing obesity and metabolic diseases, one of the study investigators said. Staying up late harms mental health regardless of one's natural sleep preference. From an outside perspective, Michaela Onken looks healthy. Scientists examined the relationship between socioeconomic status and the genetic risk for disease. Diabetes is a presently incurable illness, but a new breakthrough regarding an experimental cure could be a promising next step. You already know drinking coffee late in the day can keep you up, but you'll be surprised at these sneaky sleep disruptors. Combining eye tracking with primary care evaluations increased diagnostic accuracy to 91% sensitivity and 87% specificity. In this no-sugar-added anti-inflammatory meal plan created by a dietitian, we map out a week of high-protein meals and snacks to improve blood sugar levels. My mother died of cancer in 2011 when I was in my 30s. My father had died a decade earlier, and most of our family lived far away. So even though I lived in Boston and my mum was in Denver, we had to figure out how I could help care for her from a distance. When Angie showed up at Health Utah, she was struggling with fibromyalgia, extreme fatigue, insulin resistance, depression, systemic inflammation, and metabolic syndrome. Spinal cord injuries in the future could be healed with a device that reconnects nerves using red and near-infrared light on the damage. Health experts discuss why certain carbs are good for brain health. Thinking about using a GLP-1 agonist like Ozempic, Mounjaro, or Wegovy. Here are 4 ways to simulate the effects naturally with food and avoid the side effects. If they tell you it might be cancer and have you come back in a couple of weeks for a biopsy, say no and have them schedule it sooner. My tumor hardened and doubled in size in a couple of weeks. Scientists are learning about the pros and cons of Ozempic in real time, as prescriptions of the appetite-suppressing drug explode into the millions worldwide. A person with measles traveled through Seattle-Tacoma International Airport on May 10th and May 11 hours, according to Public Health. The terms dry drowning and secondary drowning have cropped up in media in recent years. Here's what a doctor has to say about it. Some supplements may actually be harmful. Here's what to avoid if you have metabolic syndrome, plus what you can do to manage the condition. Larimer County health officials are asking anyone who was exposed to the bat to give them a call. Study finds almost half of sufferers were still experiencing it 5 years later. The basic urge to pee is surprisingly complex and can go awry as we age. Difficulties related to the surgery are sometimes minimized by surgeons. Other surgeons say that it's the most effective way to deal with intractable arthritis. If you're hooked on sugar, here are 3 ways you may be inadvertently setting yourself up for those cravings and how to fix them. The fox was eventually caught after the incidents around May 29th, in which 3 people in Amsterdam were bit by a rabid fox. People taking wildly popular drugs, Ozempic and Wegovy, are finding themselves losing hair along with pounds. Severely restricting caloric consumption before drinking could reflect deeper mental health struggles. Some believe that it may represent a new eating disorder. The neurotransmitter dopamine has often been linked to pleasure-seeking behaviors and making stimuli paired with rewards, e.g., food, drinks, valuable. Governor Reynolds has authorized a disaster declaration for Cherokee County after the USDA detected the highly transmittable avian influenza, also known as H5N1. Medical case reports feature a wide array of unusual ailments, from furry tongues and water allergies to changing eye colors.